Hey guys, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Paulina. I am the person behind the camera. Kind of shy, you know. I feel like this is kind of, it's different than being behind the camera and you guys only seeing my hands and what I'm writing at. Decided to kind of film a video and show you guys why I wanted to become debt-free and share with you guys our struggles. So if you guys see me looking down, I have little notes here. Or maybe I should put them right here. Yeah. So our struggles started around 2010, 2011. But prior to this, both my husband and I worked full-time jobs, good stable jobs, and we were making decent money. Let's see. We had savings. We had money and savings, but it wasn't like a savings account. What I would do at that time, our kids were little. They were little. I would just put, I think it was like $50 or $100 out of each of our paychecks into savings, and with that money, I would use it for Christmas. That way we had our Christmas money all cash. What else? And for a vacation. And normally for our vacation, our kids were little, we would just go to California or Vegas and everything would be paid off. And we would always go on vacation around the summertime because that was more convenient for us, for our jobs, to get that time off around the summertime. So we would do that, but then by the time Christmas came along, we already had that money already replaced for Christmas, and then when Christmas came, we would start saving again, basically. So basically, our savings wasn't really money for savings. It was basically kind of like a sinking fund. But let's see, so around 2010, my job, they were relocating out of state, and a lot of, you know, so we got laid off. So I got laid off in May. They did give us a severance package, so that money did help us through the time that we were struggling. And then with our severance, with my severance pay, I used that to pay off hospital bills, because in June I was pregnant by the time I got laid off. So I got laid off in May. A month later in June, I had my third baby. So I used that money. So I used my severance package to pay the hospital bills, and then I also used that money to get our basement finished. So yeah. And then during that time also, it was around when the economy hit and my husband's job took a big hit. They were laid off for practically almost half the year. They would work like a month, and then they would be laid off for 2 months, and then they would go back to work, and then they would be laid off again. So the money left over from my severance, we would use that. It got us through. We would use that to pay the bills. We got our basement finished at the time that my husband was laid off from work, but then the money that we had in savings, we started basically using that to make us, you know, to make us buy, because we didn't have enough money. So once all the money from my severance and then our savings were gone, it became really hard. It came to the point where we had just the right amount of money to pay, either to pay for a car or for groceries. And so obviously we would get money, you know, use that money to buy groceries, because, you know, we had to eat, my kids had to eat. So we would always have at least the car payment late. And then it got to the point where it was, okay, now the car payment is basically, I owe 2 months. So then I would use the house, you know, the house, instead of paying the mortgage, I would pay the car. That way it wasn't always a bill that was past due. But then it just got really hard. We tried to apply for any government assistance, but we didn't qualify, just because we made, I guess they go by what you made in the past couple of months, and we would still, for the size of our family, our income was over, so we never qualified. It got really bad. But so it got to the point where you know, where we couldn't, it was either food to, you know, food or a bill. So, you know, and then I just started, it was just hard. So then once that went on for like a couple years, we had, so the only way that we could get rid of, or like we had at that time we had a Nissan Armada. It was an SUV, so we couldn't afford it. We decided to give it back, you know, to the bank, and then we took a loss on it. So the bank sold it. Thankfully, the Lord was on our side, and when they auctioned out the car, they were able to sell it for more than what we owed, so we didn't have to pay anything back for that. But before we did that, we took out a smaller car, just so that a good, reliable, smaller car, a loan that we weren't paying $400 for, and instead of 400, it was like 200. And so yeah, so that got us through for, you know, a couple of years. Also, still it wasn't enough. We weren't making enough money. I wasn't working. I was laid off. I had a newborn baby. My husband's job, it was like on and off. And then, you know, he would get what is it, not workman's comp, when you get laid off, I don't know what I have a brain freeze. Not workman's comp, but when you get laid off, you can get unemployment. Yeah, unemployment. He was getting that, but that's still not enough. So we filed bankruptcy because we got to the point where I did not want to lose my house. It was either pay for the house, you know, so it was, we were at least a month behind on our house payment, and so we had to, you know, we had to file bankruptcy. And then still money wasn't, it was just because my husband's work wasn't. So I started reading, and we started saving, we started paying off bills, and then I found Dave Ramsey on YouTube, and I started kind of doing the debt snowball payment, paying a couple bills here and there, and then I just, after that, I decided to start lowering bills. We cut off our cable. We went to Netflix, which was a lot cheaper than cable. Our house insurance, I went to another insurance. You know, I just started finding ways on how to cut bills and making just life easier. And then I changed the time that we would go grocery shopping. We would go grocery shopping every week, and it was basically just a waste of money. We were eating out so many times. So I just started finding out little things. I also found Dave Ramsey on YouTube, and I started doing the debt snowball payment. I started tracking all my expenses, and then I also found out that we were eating out a lot. The majority of our money, I believe, over the weekends, we were probably, it was like $300 or even more of just eating out, and that was over the weekend, over 2 days. So then I was like, no, we gotta stop. So I got my, you know, first my husband was like, yeah, but he wasn't full on board. But then he started noticing that I started paying off more bills, and then I started doing, hey, you know, we've been going out, let's do a no spend month where we just stay home, do free stuff. Not stay home, but just do free stuff instead of always going out. And then I found also the Budget Mom on Instagram, and I loved her method, the way she was tracking everything. So I loved it. And then me finding the Budget Mom, also I found the debt-free community on Instagram, and it just helped me. I wanted to start this channel so I can go back and see how much I've accomplished. I know you come to a point in this debt-free journey where everybody wants to give up. I've done it. Like, just I've done it. I feel sometimes like, is this really worth it? But it is, and I wanted to document this journey, so that way when I am done paying off all my, I can go back and see how much I've accomplished and how much I've learned. And so I wanted to come out and kind of share our little story of why I wanted to start this YouTube channel, and are struggles that got me to this point where I wanted to share this journey with you guys. But yeah, I wanted to get on here and kind of share with you guys my story. I hope you guys can would stay and follow me, or just my journey of getting to the point where I know that my kids are gonna be okay. But yeah, maybe I can inspire you to start your journey. But yeah, if you have any questions, comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to follow me, and bye.